Welcome everybody back to Learned Mortality, Polar Night 1.
Yippee! Yippee! Woohoo!
Well, shit.
Last time in Learned Mortality, Encore tiptoed through the tulips.
Having the time of my life.
We open back on the Ice Core Labs in a dark, cold room. Just the scratching sound of a ham radio sitting on a crate in the corner, belting out Bliss's voice, amplified by the echoey ambience of the whole place. You all stand having just exited from Oblivious's illusion. The last things said was along the lines of how much she would very much like to meet you all in person.
So, that was Oblivious.
And that's exactly what I expected, but welcome surprise for once.
I think that was the first surprise we've gotten that didn't immediately try to slit our throats or bite our faces off.
Can't say I'm upset at the turn of events.
Well, first surprise since Ancillor.
I might.
So that means whoever the actual Devil of the South is the one marionetting Oblivious. Oblivious is not doing this herself.
No. She's gonna...
Hearing the voice on the radio, $10, it's another version of fucking Bliss. All of his fucking anger, resentment, that shit.
That seems likely.
Are we gonna have to, like, pick that apart, you know? Like,
What do you mean, pick that apart? Pick what apart?
his anger, his psychology, his what have you.
I need a fucking therapist.
Well, neither am I, that's all I'm saying. Is I don't really know if I can do much like that.
It's curious because I thought that initially the good doctor was Bliss's anger, but after interacting in the 25th hour, I had my doubts.
The good doctor has told us more.
I'm pretty sure we know where Bliss's anger is. Remember? Mad as hell. The runes.
The runes, yes, you're right. The good doctor did elucidate us more on what exactly the motives of this Devil of the South exactly are. Though I don't exactly believe them entirely. I would still like to get confirmation and some of the things myself.
Maybe he is my
You two
bro.
are the Ice Core researchers, right?
That me? You talking to me?
No, Elisar and Lucy. One of the reasons
fuck,
you guys
man?
came down here was Ice Cores, right?
No,
Alright,
we
I guess
were.
I'll just die.
We were. Ancillor, no.
Hey, no, don't mind me. I'm not important or anything, mate. I'll just sit over here.
He smiles.
If you can answer my question, you can go right ahead.
I'll ask you a bloody question then.
Larry, we were the same as you. We were fetched for a rescue team. I came down here with promise of something new happening in the supernatural world. Perhaps I could harness it, at least learn a little bit about it. I didn't come down here for the ice.
Not a lot of us did,
Fair
mate.
enough.
I think you might be thinking about, I believe Echelon Hexaflake was an Ice Core researcher. I believe you might be thinking about the fact that I appear to pick up his work where he left it off.
Yeah, I'd probably be it.
Which actually does beg the question, Elisar. If Hexaflick was a Ice Core researcher, have you gotten privy to anything that he's actually been researching yet?
No, I haven't. I understand that he was stationed primarily down here. His workspaces back at Isotiller weren't that much substantial. I didn't really get much of a chance to look through much of it anyways. Did you know much about Mr. Echelon? Ancillor?
Yeah, he was, I guess you can say the two of us crossed paths quite a bit.
I suppose you'd have to. Considering that, well, this is Antarctica after all.
Yeah. I mean, he spent a lot of his time in here.
And so just kind of taps this out of the wall.
Do we know what these research notes over here are?
Yeah, a bunch of stuff on networking about the network between the different locations.
I see. Well, should we get a move on, or should we poke around a little bit more?
Only got one
I'm just
question.
curious. Your questions about Echelon, I'm trying to figure out what you want to know about him. Cause like...
I believe the corporal has been waiting to ask a question as well.
No, you can ask your questions. Mine's not that important.
I know I said something earlier and you go right pissed off about it, Larry, so I think I'm going to clarify. Because now that we have like a moment and I don't think anything's trying to jump us, probably.
He's like looking around, up and over everything.
Go keep an eye out, lightning in the sky.
Oh, he's just an interesting bloke. He was, I would say his ways of looking at the world were very different from a lot of folks. He coined quite a few different terms that we use down here in the base. Things that we'd use to represent, just making sure we get every single edge or something combed, all that. He seemed very, intent on uncovering the secrets of, so many different things. Right inspirational bloke, I gotta say myself. The end of his passing has gotten me gone down in the dumps, I'm gonna be honest.
I come to understand that there were some alarming changes in his personality leading up to the days of his disappearance. That much, United has filled me in on.
I can't say I saw much near the end of things. Often just locked away in his room in his office, tip-tapping away. He seemed like he was on the verge of some sort of discovery. Him, Taylor, all of them. You were saying something about solar magnetism, right?
Right. The good doctor filled us in. I have never heard the term in my life before, but it seems to hold some significance to what's going on here. Or at least what started all of this mess.
I don't think it's worth looking into.
We are in the building right now. Let's poke around, see if we can find any clues. Complete
That's
what
good
we
to know.
are here to originally do.
Yeah.
Larry.
What's up, Larry?
Which one of these ice cores would probably be the least, research importance?
Oh, you wanna that one.
He just points to one in particular.
We gotta do
Try
a bit
something,
of
give
that
me a
one,
minute.
basically. What are you thinking of doing?
I'm going to not say anything and respond, and I'm going to channel Haman into my arm that no longer has a forearm, and I'm going to, press that into, the top of the ice core and try to use Haman to shape the ice into an arm.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah,
And
roll
push
Hamad, alright!
And push the little red stuff from Millie into it so
Yeah.
it works as nerves.
Yeah, okay. Alright, roll him on.
Whoa.
Oh. Well, there's your universe. Good thing it's Haman.
If you roll a 1, you clash. Yeah! Let's go!
Okay, so the ice core starts to crack and glow with Haman kind of seeping out through the breaks in it, and you escalate. Oh my god!
Let's go!
Ansel looks over at you.
What the fuck are you doing, mate?
The light gets to get bigger, it starts to crack
I
further.
don't think that's what these tubes are for.
Like in those old video.
I'm gonna explode.
After that, Ansel's just like, everyone fucking back. He starts drawing X's on the ground.
What? No, I'm not gonna leave my man alone in there. Hold on, Corporal, you can do this.
Yeah! Oh my god! Holy shit!
What the fuck? What the fuck did you just unlock?
13 times! You won by 52!
What the?
So, Mikey, you can describe it however you want. I don't even care at this point. What's the arm look like?
Okay, fuck.
Mikey,
I wasn't expecting you with my 52 either, Tal.
consider you've just been handed a blank check.
I tried this, and you're like, yeah, sure, go right ahead. And I'm
I
like,
literally
cool.
was just like, yeah, you can try it. I don't see anything against you trying it. Oh my god.
It's just a normal looking arm. The pinky randomly is a claw.
Fuck yeah. Alright,
Yeah, you
alright.
look like you know what? It's a pretty normal looking arm, but that pinky is really weirding me out.
Hey,
It works.
May I give a suggestion? You have a little hollowed out portion on the forearm that you put a couple sunflower seeds into in case you need to detonate the arm to get away from something.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I could
And like
put
a sprig
sunflower
of
seeds
sunflowers,
in like the knuckles
yeah.
because my Haman is sunflower seeds
Yes!
specifically.
Dude, you got fucking
So
shotgun hand.
is my Haman weapon.
You just take these frozen seeds and just germinate them instantly.
Dude, Mikey, you won by a 52. I'll let you do it.
Yeah. Ooh, and it's rigged because it's an ice layer core.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's cool. So it looks kind of like, yeah.
Ah, that's rad.
Oh, I love that visual.
Oh, that's very creative of you.
Well, we weren't we weren't using that, I guess. But like, also, what? Holy
What?
shit,
you think
man!
I was gonna fight one-handed?
I thought you were about to blow it up and like look for fucking illusions in the room like that, mate. I don't know. I was about to duck and cover. He erases the X he was drawing. Fuck.
You see the ice flexing? It's making weird, like, almost similar to, like, fucking Wild Things
Frostbitten
peeing
crinkly
ice
sounds.
noises.
Corporal, your new arm is squeaky.
Dude,
He's a little
Larry
bit of oil.
literally sounds or looks like a frostbitten now.
Yep.
Well, if we get intercepted by the Frostbitten army, you'll be able to blend in.
Great. Like, I wouldn't be the front line.
Yeah, you know what? You know what? Actually, that's a great point. Be my guest.
Come on, let's get moving.
Be my guest. You go first. There we go. Fuck that.
Wait, I haven't checked that door for jellyfish yet.
Please do. I'd rather not
Good
get.
idea.
I'd rather not get defibrillated again.
Some kind of airlock, I'd have to assume. Probably to avoid cross-contamination. It seems safe. I'll open the door.
Probably allows the air to stay warmer on the other side and the in here colder to not melt the ice.
It's wishful thinking, Corporal.
Well, you know, when it was working.
I'd like to check myself if there's anything over there, because if this is AI housing, perhaps there might be spare parts we could use to help Millie as well.
Don't forget to check the rafters.
Oh yeah, Lucy's eyes are peeled after the fucking 30 against him.
Oh, totally fair. Okay, I will keep that in mind.
Lucy's paranoid at the moment.
I'll keep my eyes peeled, don't worry.
You gonna check through?
Yes, sir.
Escalation.
Yes, Chief.
Escalation again.
Yes, Chief?
I'm worried. Okay, you're having trouble getting through this door for a second, and as you just kind of like fold around trying to get in, eventually you are just sort of blasted by sound on the other side.
Do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human
That's
progress.
a regular
The
one.
hate of men will pass.
Coast is clear, but I'm hearing more of that
The power
radio.
they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men
The significance
die,
is
liberty will never perish.
the original one from the movie and the one that this is.
Don't give yourselves to brutes.
It's blasting. Yeah, it's,
Rather loud.
maybe cover your ears.
All right.
Just gonna kind of just step in, looking all around it, all the different equipment, and then just doing a cursory glance up at the ceiling, checking for the fish.
Can you give me a brainstorm? So you look around this room, and it immediately becomes sort of hard to look at. It's like you're looking at a room that's like tilted maybe 5 degrees to the right if you're looking down straight to the door at the other side. Like everything's just sort of shifting down. You don't see any jellyfish. It seems completely empty, but the room itself has this uncanny nature to it.
Ooh. Is anyone else feeling a little bit off balance?
Mm-hmm. You didn't put me in the fold again, did you, mate?
No. Everyone back there, tread carefully. I feel like there's more illusions at play here.
That's what I was thinking.
Something just
with the
isn't
illusion.
clicking in this room.
Hey, Tali. Can
Yeah,
I try something silly?
sure.
Can I look through my ice arm to see if the light reflection's different to reveal illusions?
Ooh,
That's a
That is a really
that's
cool
fucking
idea.
awesome.
I'm gonna
Roll me brains
try
plus
it.
bravery. Brains plus bravery.
Okay.
That's like a test you do in like Inception.
Larry, there's something on the table over there.
Oh. That's
Uh-oh.
the probe.
Are you able to ID it as the probe?
Yeah.
Larry was in the thing. That's the probe.
Mhm. But LSR doesn't see it. Only you see it.
Interesting.
Watch yourself, Corporal. Things may not be as they appear.
Yeah.
LSR is going to... Do these doors have a label?
Interior laboratory.
Interior labs are this way.
Tali, I still have that one die left. I want to try something.
Of course.
I'm gonna throw the die straight, like past Ansel and Elisar, but I want to see if it gets pulled over in this direction towards the probe.
Hmm. You throw your spinball, and it flies true. Comes back right to your hand. It doesn't seem like it's tilted towards that direction, no.
Okay, so that thing doesn't have a gravitational pull. I would like to have Rolling Girl flit in and scratch the floor right here, like just make a power attack against the floor.
Make me a power roll.
Seiko, what are you doing?
Good thinking. We wouldn't want to lose our way in here.
No, it's just this room just seems so off. I don't trust it.
I don't
Be
either.
damned, but understandable.
Alright, just with a... You slice into the ground, making a horrible grating sound.
And there's no reaction from the room.
No?
I guess the room's just weird.
Yeah, it is.
Yes,
You guys trust me?
Yeah, of course.
Of course we trust you.
Encore, can you hand me marbles?
I'm sorry, buddy, but
Hold on, don't worry. I have a cat here.
oh, thank God, marbles.
Yeah, that'll work.
My head
Making
gets to be
uncle.
warm.
Let me get out of here. Am I in your way?
Now, Anselor, can you,
Yeah, mate.
stand back behind you?
Well, stand back. behind
No,
me.
Psycho. Seiko. Sorry.
But just stand back behind me.
I'm just confused. What's up, Larry? What do you want me to do?
I chucked the cat at the probe.
Okay. Make me a bronze roll, first of all.
What are you doing to Muffin?
You've triggered a villainous action. The villainous action is called... Nah, that's Oblivious. Don't get involved.
Hmm.
Everyone, it is suddenly just very cold in the room that you're all standing in. And you look around each other, you look around at the room, and somewhere off in the distance, snow begins to fall.
Oh?
Huh?
Rolling gold, you hit a rock.
Larry, what did you do?
Fucking should have known that was protected. God damn it.
Everyone calm down. Look,
We're
at
still
my
in the
feet.
room.
We're still in the room.
Are we?
Hmm.
That bush with the eyes in it is a little further than the wall.
Didn't notice that earlier.
You didn't think anything was strange when you walked into an open field beyond that last door.
It's much like the other illusion generators. It can trick our mind into moving places that we think are next to each other, but are actually opposite ends of the fucking building.
Monologue by chance?
I'll monologue against the illusion barriers, I guess. Sure.
Can you state specifically what you're monologuing?
The illusion barriers can trick our minds so that instead of moving how we're actually moving, we're moving in different ways in the real world.
You are correct. I will drop a bizarre field from 4 to 3.
By the way, what I threw marbles at was a probe. The probe. Also, where's Andy?
I was about to say, you're suddenly one short.
Huh.
If we are merely experiencing an illusion, then Angelo should still be right here. Hang on a second.
Unless the illusions isolated him from us.
Peek into the fold real quick. Spatially speaking, we should still be right next to each other. I'm going to try to use the fold to see that if that's the truth or not.
I haven't taken a step. If he has, that might be an issue.
The fold bends and molds around you. You find no trace of Anselor.
No luck, unfortunately.
Perhaps the fifth is shown differently in here than out there.
All the more reason that we need to find a way out.
Did Oblivious not say that she would be trying to help us through whatever happens?
She's also not fully in control of herself, so...
No.
Despite that, we could still try to reach out, break through. Alistar's just going to kind of like step out into the open here, and it's going to take a moment to look around and maybe take in a bit more of the surroundings.
Find yourself in a foggy city. The boughs of trees just at the tail end of fall dot the edge of your vision. To camera left, a hedge wall behind some sort of constructed fence. And on your right, what looks like a small garden shed.
Can I brains roll to see if I recognize the skyline?
Yeah, I think it's a very recognizable skyline, so... It's familiar. It's a big city, that's for certain.
I've been to so many cities, they all blend together at this point. Does anyone have any idea where we are? Or at least where we're being shown to be?
Sorry, I've had more time on military bases than big cities.
Sadly not my expertise, although maybe... Hey, Tali.
Hey, Jarrett.
What kind of tree does this look like? Does it look like a deciduous tree? Does it look like a tree that would be in the northern areas of, like, the United States or in China?
So, the thing that you would notice immediately is that it's, kind of seems to be more of a tropical tree. Which is interesting. But also there's snow falling, so it can't be too tropical.
I can at least say we're close to the equator, based on the general fauna around here. Not in any far-off Arctic on the other side of the world.
Seiko, you get the distinctive feeling that you're being watched.
Is there any possible way I could try to suss out where?
Oh, really? It kind of just feels like it's somewhere off, out of your line of sight.
I have no interest in staying over long in this place.
Does anyone else have the feeling that they're being watched?
Oh, obviously.
Oh, I'd be more amazed if we weren't. I mean, there's a literal bush filled with eyes.
We're also inside of a research base.
The probe was on the table, like 5 feet away from us.
The probe was here?
I did say that when we got
according
in
to
here.
him, it's why he threw muffins.
Yeah, I saw it through the ice in my arm. Looks like they forgot to do reflections correctly sometimes.
Interesting.
Oh yes, you know. SSR and all that.
It's probably
Buggy mess.
Oblivious keeping an eye on us.
Now, if I am correct, spatially we should be close to the airlock, right around here.
That's assuming you're moving in the direction you think you're moving.
Eldasar has his eyes closed right now. He's kind of just like, eyes closed, not looking at the illusion, but just focusing on what he remembers about the lab that they were in.
Okay.
And focusing on the fact that odds are Anslor wasn't just disappeared by this. He's probably trying to guide them out as well. So he's just also going to allow himself to be influenced by anything that he might not be conscious of. He's just going to let the subconscious take over. He's just going to try to basically, like,
Kind of just hope on the
Intuit.
whims of intuition.
he's going to intuit his way out.
Give me a bravery roll.
Trying to find the airlock.
I like this idea quite a bit. You're walking, and you feel something brush over your palm.
Aha! Alright, Anselor, if that is you, yes, I can most definitely feel you. Okay, you. Good, you are still there. Am I going in the right direction? Tap my palm once for yes, twice for no. Am I moving towards the airlocks?
You just feel something wet on the back of your hand.
I'll take that as a no. I have no clue what that is.
There's just some wild things on the other side that just like licked your hand.
So I'm going to start moving this direction.
Lucy, can you give me a brains roll?
Absolutely.
It's going to like bump to the base of the tree.
You're starting to get the feeling that you're being watched as well. It's just this prickling sensation on the back of your neck.
You feel that, Num? I think what Seiko was saying has merit.
That something's here.
It feels a lot more direct towards us now. Lucy's gonna move forward a little bit towards the shack.
Mm-hmm.
He's just gonna stare into the eyes of this thing right here real quick.
What you see is a flowering bush. Occasionally the flowers on the tips open and close. Bright red eyes looking back at you, Numb, Encore, up and down.
I had my theories that this was something similar to the 25th hour, but in a more real time. It's almost like since Anselor has been annexed from this environment to us, perhaps that all of our minds are linked in some sorts with the illusions. It feels weirdly targeted to have a illusion generator hit everyone except Anselor.
Do you think it's possible that Anselo could be experiencing something else?
It could be. It could also just be annexed for reasons of him being associated with this place. Maybe he has some kind of preferential treatment.
Maybe he just has the clearance code.
That
Maybe
could be
it's
it.
just because he's a vampire.
Could be they don't see a reason to do this to him.
Could be that, or it could also be that he just wasn't affected and he's currently standing in the room wondering why we're all walking around bumping into walls like idiots.
Well, I feel like if, LSI, you were feeling something,
Honestly,
right?
but I wouldn't be
There's
surprised if
something.
I would
No,
expect.
there is something. Something out there. Something that my actual waking body is experiencing the sensations of that I'm not. It's strange. There was at first there was a pressure on my hand, but then the sensation of something cold and wet. I have no idea what's going on out there, but we should hurry and try to find an exit. I have been unable to make progress with my methods.
Given Anselor's persona, I would assume that he would have started shaking one of us.
Speaking of, Ansler, if you can hear me, squeeze my hand or something.
We've already tried that, Seiko.
And Slor, if you can hear me, don't stand too close.
Alright, that's enough of
Act
Anselor.
3. And Act 3 is going to stab his sword into...
Make an attack
Oh.
roll. Just right into the ground, right into the dirt.
I want to bet that's making a mark. Yeah, I'm betting that's making a mark. Yeah, just keep dragging it.
Oh, I see. Is this like a shutter in front of me, or is it like a traditional door?
It is a shed's door, you know, the one with the little turn handle at the bottom that you would pull up.
Ah, very good. I'm gonna open this up, LSI.
Do you feel safe doing so? I could try to check it for you.
I do. I feel about as safe as I've been since I've landed here since day one.
Well, whether it be an illusion or be because our minds are linked, we should be, theoretically, mostly safe here.
I have a feeling that We should trust this.
Let's open the damn door.
Thank you, Larry.
It seems to be scrap metal, old construction equipment, and on your left, a very out of place sort of makeshift lab table setup, and furthermore, an old radio.
Lucy, is there anything under the microscope currently?
Take a look. Nothing recognizable.
What is this place?
Well, if this place is a construct of somebody's making, then there should be clues as to who exactly it belongs to. Why a space like this would exist.
I'm gonna pull out a cigarette, light it in Act 3's mustache, and start smoking.
Engore's gonna pick up these papers over here. What does he see?
It is, that's a bunch of legal gibberish. There's a big logo at the top,
Word. Don't know that word.
and a big
Picture,
star
yes.
in it. Says,
We looking at pictures?
Yeah!
says some words under the picture. Says Dream Corp.
These are, I know like 5 out of these 273 words. It's a lot of
Let me-
legal jargon.
Hey, let me take a look-see.
Yeah.
I'm better with this kind of stuff. Here.
Hello, sir. This is
Dream Corp.
a legal agreement of some sort. A fund agreement. Or some sort of project.
Is it like, legible? Or is it just kind of messed up and kind of tossed in here?
It's very messed up, but what you can make out is essentially a large sum of money, very large, was transferred from this company called the Dream Corporation to an independent research group.
Wait a second.
Jared has things to say. Lucy
Yeah.
is from America. Lucy does not know.
Yeah, most of you
Yeah.
wouldn't know this is the thing. This is more of a dramatic irony type situation.
Yeah.
To you, it's like Dream. You might have heard of that before. It's some big megacorp.
Dream Corporation. Let me think. Lucifer,
Yes.
Ain't a military contractor.
or you as well, Corporal. Do you recall Dream Corporation being tied to anything that you recognize, anything that you remember?
I know they're not a military contractor. Other than that, I ain't got a clue.
Actually, Larry, you specifically might know. Can you make me a brains roll plus 1? I have a reason that you would know.
Hey, Tali, I think I have a reason that Seiko might know as well, given she's from Japan and would
Yeah.
have had to go through quite a bit of medical stuff.
Give me a definitely give me a brains roll for Seiko just from being from Japan. And Larry, I'll tell you this. You don't know exactly what it is. You know they were involved in some big scandal around the time of the apocalypse. So you've seen their name in the newspapers.
Ooh, I have a way that Lucy might know them.
No,
Aren't
right.
they the creators of F-4NG?
Yes, they are.
That's definitely something Lucy has used during testing
Okay, so Lucy, give me a
with
brains
United.
roll. Okay, so yeah, Lucy, for all of those reasons you explained right to now to me, yes. Seiko, you remember seeing their name on a hospital bill, like when you were a kid.
Wait, Dream Corp. Can I see that paper real quick?
It's a little bit messed up and scratchy, but here.
You said Dream Corp, yeah?
Yeah, it's the manufacturers of F-4NG. They're the
Fang?
ones. Yeah, they're the ones that are allowing vampires to
That's
roam.
that's funny because I remember having Dream Corp appear on one of my medical bills in the past.
I know they were involved in some sort of weird thing going on with them during
Correct me
near
if
the
I'm
apocalypse.
wrong.
But
They're not exactly a global corporation. Whatever are they doing here?
They're international with just distribution alone. But I believe that they're in Japan?
Well,
Yeah,
I don't
primarily, I'm
think
pretty sure
they-
they've got branches all over Oceania, but that's like distribution hub branches and some like property they own, not like massive corporation bullshit.
Now that Lucy is reading this and not Encore, given the ties to the Dream Corporation, could Lucy make sense of any of the legal jargon on there?
You're gonna have to give me a brains roll.
Absolutely.
Not much more than LSR, honestly. The most that you could make more out of this is one little thing. Just a footnote. But man, if that footnote doesn't mean everything in the world to you. The document has the same copyright note as the previous one you saw in the tunnels.
Oh shit.
United Laboratories is involved.
Lucy's gonna stare at that. I know United was around during the apocalypse, but what are they doing connected to Dreamcorp? I guess our mutual benefactor has bigger ties in this than we thought.
Yeah, they're a worldwide scientific foundation.
Not that
They have
surprised.
connections to different foundations and research groups all over the globe.
My question is, why didn't Mr. Acer tell either one of us anything about this?
Well, we don't exactly know if it's important or not.
Did we not know earlier that Dr. Tiller was from United? Could it be that this has something to do with her?
It could be.
But you're saying they are the producers and the ones who discovered Fang, right?
They are the production and distribution, that much I know.
Oh, I was gonna ask, what am I looking at right here?
That is a garden hose.
It's a garden hose?
A
And
garden hose, yeah. And there seems to be ice coming out of the pipe. So you see the ice, Psycho, you're coming around this corner.
yeah.
You hear something. Just a little shuffle in the bushes to the north.
Oh, fuck.
Being stared at.
Can I get a zoom?
That is
Defend.
penguin.
Defend protocol.
I see, that's
It's a defend Atlantis, but without any red.
Its form is sort of flickering. Just kind of there like this shadow standing atop this rock.
Seiko's going to put her hands up and slowly approach.
Psycho, I don't know what you're doing, but can you stop sticking your hand where it doesn't belong? You might actually keep it unlike me.
Hey, Larry, could you shut the fuck up for a moment, please? Hey, little guy.
It looks up at you.
Keeping an eye on us for Oblivious, I assume?
Its eye blinks. And you're gonna notice something. That when its eye reopens, the eye is bright red.
Hello.
Its eye then blinks once more.
Okay. What is this place? Do you know?
Penguin waddles,
Can you communicate?
ups down. It walks very, very slowly over to here. And it places a hand to the ice and just sort of steps into it. And you no longer see it.
I'd like to examine the ice more closely. If there's anything frozen inside of it.
How do you examine it exactly? Just by looking at it?
Looking at it, using cat claws as like ice picks to try to chip away at the ice, see if it reveals anything.
Make a power roll. As your hand slices down it gently, just sort of trying to be careful, there is this... Larry, you hear this specifically. And Seiko, you feel this pain in your hand. You're gonna take 2. And Rolling Girl's right hand is now glitching, blue, staticky, and slightly transparent. Seiko,
Yeah?
because you chose precision, your precision is locked. You cannot roll it.
Ha!
Keep that in mind, please. Any rolls made with precision automatically become a 0.
I'm glad I chose precision, because if precision is defend, I can still fight. Was I able to make any headway into the ice? Just
You made a
touched
scratch
it
on
out.
it, that's for sure. You don't see anything in it.
There's something odd about this ice here.
I think you were right about something. Our friend's Ancelor's exclusion from this place. I feel like it was purposeful.
Hmm.
When we asked the good doctors about what happened with his vampirism, they were pretty vague with their answer. Didn't exactly let on to much. I'm not even positive if they know much. But if they do, that should be something that we try to push further into.
I agree.
There may be a connection there that is important.
Do you believe then that this illusion is merely happenstance? Or perhaps something more?
If we were the ones that were chosen to be shown all of this, it must be purposeful. If it was just an automatic thing, unless it detected Ancelor being a vampire and thus left him out that way.
I find it more likely that his involvement is what caused this.
Right, so you think it was a conscious choice by whoever put us here?
Perhaps it's something he should already know? I don't know. Maybe this is his memory.
That wasn't something that I had considered, but
Interesting theory.
interesting indeed.
It would make sense why he's not here then.
Well, if it's his memories, then there must be other things around that could help us tie this all in with him.
Good point.
I'll start looking for any clues, or maybe half of a coat. Whichever I find first.
Hey, Tali, I'd like to send this rolling gold into the bush.
Okay.
Here.
As you walk towards the bush, one of the eyeball flowers blink, opens up and goes right in front of Rolling Gold's face, just kind of stopping it before it goes in. It stares at you.
Okay, I just gotta cast his head.
Let me see what else is in here. See if we can pick out any names.
They're old. They're really, really old. Like college exams and notes. One of them in particular has the name Bliss Eso on it. Actually, it would say Lewis Eso.
Okay. And aside from those, the rest of them, out of curiosity, do any of them look like transcripts of just like random conversations?
Not really, no.
Okay.
This is all primarily just stuff that, like, kind of looks like a box he would put things in to store them, basically. I'm gonna shove it back here.
Here we go.
What you got there?
Somebody is, there's a name. Louis Eso? Or, hang on a second. Wait, is that Bliss?
No, bliss is bliss.
Bliss is a nickname, Encore. Remember?
Right.
I believe so.
Funny name. So this is his hut?
I couldn't imagine why Ancelor would be hanging on to, onto any of Bliss's college reports.
Maybe he's copying them.
Hey, Tali,
Yes.
and my hand got hurt.
Hmm.
What did it feel like? Did it feel like an electrical shock, perhaps?
It felt cold. It felt really, really cold.
So, is this it then? Is this where Eso Tiller first got its beginnings? A small shotgun shack out in the middle of some city that just one day received funding from a gigantic international corporation.
Peculiar. I feel like there must be more. That doesn't sound reasonable.
Actually, upon hearing, Lucy's gonna curiously look over to the radio and turn it on.
Okay. Yeah, you'll start hearing...
And so long as men die, liberty
So
will
the
never
speech
come.
is even here.
Soldiers,
I heard this same speech when we were entering the lab. That's why I told you all to plug your ears. It was coming from somewhere in there, but I wasn't able to identify the source when they were actually in there.
Why is this speech so important? And it has an obviously strong connection to Bliss.
How is this ice shaped? Is it shaped in such a way you would expect it to be water from a hose freezing, or?
Yep.
I'm sorry I keep coming back to it, but my brain is screaming at me that this is important. As well as the eyes on the bush. I've been looking at them.
And one's still staring at Rolling Gold.
Hold on, what is this thing?
It is a gas canister.
Also, hello penguin up there in the corner. Don't think I didn't miss you.
It's standing on top of one of the hedges, looking back down at you.
It's not empty. And then I just pointed at Act 3. No.
What, are you assuming that this is something like an escape room and we're gonna have to burn something and get a key and take that key over to one of these desk drawers and then unlock the desk drawer to get another key?
Listen, that'd be
Honestly, if
silly.
there was something in the desk drawer, I figure Encore could just punch it open.
I could.
I don't think any of them are locked. Let me check.
Ooh, wait. Yeah, good idea. Hang on, I want to open it.
Alright, jeez, it's not a race.
He winds his fist back. He goes towards the handle, and he pinches it with 2 fingers and pulls on it.
You pull it open. It fluttering out and then scattering on the floor is a ton of photographs. Pictures of tropical rainforests, pictures of animals, pictures of savannas, mountains.
Oh, I wonder if these are from Bliss's mother. You know that she's a nature photographer.
Alistar's just gonna bend down and pick one up. Now I can start to see where he got his interest in biology.
I was actually looking through some of Bliss's books before, and he actually had a picture from his mother. A picture taken almost 30 years ago, I believe. I wonder if on the back of one of these things has something we can gander. And Lucy's gonna start flipping the ones that are not turned over to try and see if he can find something.
Give me a range roll. You do eventually come across one. It's, a picture of a beach. And sort of in the center of the photograph is a hand, dark-skinned, holding a small vial of something. Seems to be giving off a soft blue glow. You'd recognize it anywhere. It's what Bliss wears as one of his earrings.
Elisar, come take a look at this.
Ah, yes. What is this?
This vial here. Does it look familiar to you?
Shh. Wait a minute. I believe I have seen this before, right?
Yes.
On Mad as Hell.
Huh.
On Act 3. I believe it was on Act 2, and if I recall correctly, Act 1 as well.
Yes.
Oh, wait! Bliss!
Yes.
His earring, he wears that all the time. I
All
never
4
thought
of
to
them.
ask him about it.
I've also been curious. I thought it was just a fashion thing. I've complimented it before. I wonder if that has any significance with the Mad as Hells and the connection to him. We know that there are at least pieces of him, but...
Well, what do you think it is? Given the picture, it seems like it's something maybe he collected at a beach somewhere. Come to think of it, it does look sort of like the same color that bioluminescence would give off. I know that there are some beaches in the world where you can find large quantities of a bioluminescent plankton, I believe.
Hey, Tali.
Yeah.
Random thing off of the mind now that it is actually like straight up in front of us. Is this the same color as the butterflies? Like the exact hue?
Well, if it isn't, it's damn similar.
We should inquire about that when we get back, or even maybe ask Ancelor about it. He might know something.
Ask about what exactly?
The earring.
The earring, right.
You've made a great observation. All the Mad as Hells have had that earring. Ooh, question, Tali.
Hello.
Lucy has been there for all 3 fells of Mad as Hell in person. Did the earring also disappear?
Yes.
Curious. I honestly thought it was just a part of it, but it did dissolve whenever we felled any of the Mad as Hell's variants. Why is this earring important?
I always assumed that whatever was making it glow like that was some sort of chemical, but now I'm beginning to suspect it might actually be biological in nature.
Like some sort of bioluminescent plankton, as you suggested.
Yes, as if that is the case, we have seen other uses of marine animal cells in all sorts of projects that have been started at least by Isotiller and finished by other parties. The blue coloration also reminds me of those butterflies we've been running into.
Yes.
We were actually told that the butterfly was one of Isotiller's projects. However, it's still vague to me what phase of Isotiller's lifespan.
Oh, why they would create such a creature.
Oh, Tali, you long-term planner, you.
Hello.
I was like, I remember looking at the earring before. It's on the first art from the summer game.
There's a lot of references to things on the summer game art. You'll notice there's Roman numerals all over him, too.
Yep.
Given all the ambiguity about the butterflies, I would suspect that it was a more recent project before everything all went higgledy-piggledy.
Yes, that's exactly how I would describe it.
What are we expected to do with that, then? Ask, please. It's not like he's here at the moment.
If it's important enough for the Mad as Hells to don it as a signifier, if anything, it should be at least questioned.
Put a pin in it, then.
Especially given how Bliss has been... Sadly, our Bliss is seeming to be the only one that has the interests of Isotiller left in mind. Given the speech that we've heard before, I'm starting to believe that there's just several fragments scattered with their own intentions.
All of which can barely remember who they even were. Sad existence.
It seems like the one in control of the south of the ice labs, given that we are here right now, maybe this is all that they can remember. How they started, a desolate little shack in the middle of nowhere listening to the radio.
Dreaming big of a possible future where their research could impact the world. Sega, Larry, have you two discovered anything?
There's something strange with this ice, I just can't figure it out.
Psycho still got a death wish.
That's
Larry's still an asshole.
concerning.
Everything's the same.
Also, there's a giant penguin over there.
A what?
Yeah, it's one of the embers.
Is he?
He's just watching.
Yes. Oh.
No indication if we've been on the right track or not, if we've been figuring out what we were meant to figure out from all of this.
Oh, there it goes.
Tali, does it seem like he's trying to get us to follow? Or
I'm not
just
really
like an
getting
expectation?
much from it. No. It's actually very much the opposite. It seems devoid of any intention. Beyond observing.
It had the same general visual makeup as the wild things in the House of Dreams.
Seiko, you were mentioning something about this ice out here. You were inspecting it earlier, I noticed.
Yeah, I've been trying to, there's something important about it, that's what my gut is telling me, but I can't figure it out.
Very strange.
What happened so far, there was one of those...
What is wrong with Rolling Girl's hand?
Oh, I'm getting to that. Let me get to that. There's one of those birds over here, and I talked to it a bit, then it switched to that red orb thing in its eyes, so kind of basically confirming that it was Oblivious keeping an eye on us.
Do we know that's Oblivious?
Yes, I'm pretty.
That's the theory.
100%, 100% sure.
The little
I'm
red
sure.
thing that you were like, it's the clock eye, and I'm like, that has fucking Roman numerals, just like mad as hell.
It's the same red light, red or. It was basically the exact same red orb that led us to.
Saying that the red orb is oblivious is the same as saying that the vial is the butterfly. A color connection suggests a connection, but does not guarantee it.
Also, the art and the hue match the eyes that are flashing on this bush right here.
The what?
But that's besides the point.
The art and the what?
The what?
You know what? I'm fucking bored. You know what? Fine. Fine. I'm picking up the gas can.
Nice.
He's gonna fucking burn down the building. Oh god.
As I was saying,
I want to know what Elisar's doing with the bush. Are you like leaning in and looking closer to it? One of the eyes would, again, on that end of a flower, just kind of snake out almost as if it's alive and blink up and look at you.
as I was saying, that bird walked over to the ice and disappeared into it. Then I had Rolling Girl scratch it to see, because I was thinking there might be something inside of it that might be important, but when Rolling Girl scratched it, her hand got like that.
At the mention of something inside the ice, Elisar's going to.
It was really, really cold.
Elisar's going to look towards the ice crystals.
Mm-hmm.
Looking kind of within, is he able to see any motes of light, perhaps?
Give me a brains roll.
Elisar, maybe you could use the.
Not really.
Oh, do it, coward.
It's just seems like ice.
And it's coming out of
A garden hose, like the water had
the
frozen.
garden hose.
Mhm.
Like the water had frozen. Okay.
Maybe you could use the fold to look inside of it.
You say you saw a bird disappear into it?
Yes, a digital looking version of I think it was Defend Atlantis or something like that.
That sounds like we're trying to be pointed towards this.
Exactly.
What exactly happened with Rolling Girl's arm again?
Yeah, so I figured perhaps there's something in the ice. So I had Rolling Girl scratch at it to show if we can't gently chip away at the ice to reveal whatever's inside, but as soon as she scratched it, her hand wound up like that.
When she tried to damage it.
Yes.
So, theoretically, if I use visions to try to distort space to get a view on what exactly it's hiding, if I'm not trying to actually make any sort of aggressive movements towards it, hopefully, I won't get that. He's going to use visions to try to do what Seiko's suggesting.
So you start to unfold the ice. It's just ice.
It's nothing.
I'm gonna walk up to the bush.
It's frozen water coming out of a hose. Maybe it wasn't important to the ice, and maybe just you trying to damage something within the illusion.
I'm gonna die.
But it's a good idea. After all, that same radio broadcast was playing inside the shack. And I do have a theory that broadcast is somehow connected to the formation of these specific ice crystals. Do you see how sharp they are?
Yeah. What are you thinking?
Just that signal is somehow stimulating the formation of these ice crystals. Perhaps using frequencies somehow to dictate their shape. Anyway, it's not important to us finding a way out of here, unfortunately. Corporal, what are you doing with that gas canister?
I walk up to the bush. Does the eye pull up at me or
Yes,
something?
it does.
I dump gasoline on the eye.
Very.
It closes in a reflex, and it just kind of shakes itself and shakes
what?
the gasoline off. And then it narrows
What
itself
are
at you.
you doing?
Harry, what the fuck?
Has Act 3 overtaken your senses completely?
Larry,
Are you in control of your body right now?
Larry, you actual caveman.
Is General Warcraft just telling you to burn everything in sight?
Don't listen to the voice in your head, Harry.
Mikey,
Come back to
I
us.
approve so much of this.
Remember, while this may be an illusion, somewhere we're in a very small room that's probably not very well ventilated. Let's not start a fire in the room that we are currently standing
How
in.
real do you think this gas actually is?
Are you the real Larry?
Faces react.
It might
Real enough
not
for you
be
to think you can burn
gas.
things with it.
It could be worse. It could be nitroglycerin.
It smells like gas.
It smells like gas, yes. Yeah, after it's done, like, narrowing its eye at you, it turns around. It just turns, like, its back at you.
Oh, yeah.
Not only is it a spy thing, it's got a spy thing with attitude. Neat.
Almost childish. Larry,
What?
maybe you can relate.
You're one to talk. You wouldn't punch the first thing that drew your attention.
Lightly scratched it, tried to chip away at it carefully.
Right, and now your arm doesn't fucking work.
Both of you have gained
Yeah.
the caveman badge for the day. Please stop fighting.
Right, Elsa, it's between me and you. Who's next?
Yeah, well, unga bunga, okay? Unga
I'm going to
bunga.
scratch a door into the trunk of this tree, and we're just going to step out and leave.
Oh, good. I'm the winner.
You wanna know what you win?
The
Bunch
lost
of
insanity? Yes.
idiots for friends, I guess.
You know, it has dawned on me that possibly we're not supposed to get out of here.
Are you saying that this is just a containment?
Probably.
Well, if leaving is so obtuse, why would someone make an illusion this way?
It is kind of interesting that we are... Elsa, you had the sensation that we were still in real time, right?
I got the sensation that something is happening out there. I'm not sure what. If maybe we've been knocked unconscious and we're being taken somewhere as we speak. If Ancelor is trying to douse us with warm water to get us to wake.
I hope he doesn't. That would make us freeze.
I would prefer to not freeze.
That's the only thing that's keeping me from lighting this bush on fire, is I don't want to set off the fucking fire repellent shit.
That does actually raise a question of mine, Larry.
But then again, I am smoking, so that would probably have set it off by now.
Can you set a fire here?
Elisar was thinking the exact same thing. He's going around, he's gathering sticks from the ground underneath this tree.
I take my still smoldering cigarette and I toss it in the gasoline on the bush.
Oh boy.
All right, Larry.
Okay. The bush ignites in flames. Oh, okay. All of the eyes on the edges of flowers start writhing in what almost looks like pain, and the world around you grows staticky, almost unstable. You feel just this distant shudder as the ground starts to tilt sideways.
Whoa!
And suddenly all of you are falling down into the blackness.
I'm just gonna assume the door, if I tried to grab the door, it just fucking disappeared.
You go through it.
Elisar is going to quickly use visions to try to have the limbs of this tree bend down and form a net to catch them.
Okay. Yeah, give me a speed roll, please. Yeah, so Elisar, you reach out to the tree, you start to bend it. Num, Lucy, Seiko, Larry, everyone falling down! You manage to catch everyone. Except for Encore. Who keeps going.
You're stand! Sort it out yourself!
What do we do?
Moses, God, nothing gets taken.
You are now on a perfectly 90-degree horizontal plane. As the tree has bended up and created a support structure for you, you do see Encore just falling below you.
Encore!
Corporal,
Yeah!
Lucifer, Seiko, any of you do something about that fire up there. The embers are gonna fall down and the tree's gonna catch a blaze.
How much I can do? Shit.
I mean, I could make more.
Why don't you just throw the ice in there?
So, hey guys, around you, you're going to start to see, wriggling and sort of shaking out of the very air itself, shards of ice manifest in the air all around you, sort of like spikes, aimed at each and every one of you.
Lucifer, can you still feel Encore where he is? Does Encore still exist, Lucifer?
You feel him.
Answer quickly, please.
You feel him. He's down there.
Yeah, he's down there.
I drop my effect, I drop us all.
Okay. As shunk, you fall downwards. The ice chunk, 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 where you were just moments before, and all of you tumble into the abyss. And all of you feel as the wind whips up around you, and then your legs compress. You land.
Jesus Christ.
The woods yet.
Well, congratulations, Corporal. You have freed us from our prison.
You find yourselves in a room, and the first thing you're going to notice is you're not alone in this room. There are shadowy figures sort of all over the room, particularly one who is bent over this computer table at the end with his hands just on the desk. One sitting in the chair, sort of biting at his nails. There's one behind Bliss, hand on his shoulder, just kind of giving it a soft squeeze. And at this point you hear from Bliss,
"There's nothing you can do. Absolutely nothing. Really?"
and you notice furthermore there's someone on the computer screen. A form that you don't recognize again. And you hear from the computer speakers just this very soft, "I'm sorry, Bliss. I can't keep sending you more and more funds. I'm not an infinite resource. Eventually you're going to have to get results."
I fucking know that. Well, you think they know that? You think any of them fucking know that? Oh, I swear to God.
If you want, I could use Ghost to send you some more employees. Maybe that would...
No. Don't even bother. It's fine. We're so close. I refuse to shut her down now.
Do they mean Oblivious?
More than likely.
I'm betting Millie.
I'm betting Oblivious.
You hear another voice pick up, and it's another shadowy form that you weren't aware was in the room up until this point. On the smaller laptop on the table, there's another silhouette. If you want me to take control of the project, I could. I mean, if that's okay with you.
No, I don't want you to strain yourself. And I don't know what could possibly happen if you two interact. I don't want to risk that until she's stable.
Hold it.
It seems like you were right.
And then Numb sort of steps back as she pulls her hand away from this chair, realizing someone had been sitting in the chair as well. Again, a larger figure, someone that you don't really recognize. And as the figure just kind of leans back, just hand under the chin, there's just this soft,
We'll figure out what to do. Alright? How about that?
and then the one who has his hand on Bliss's shoulder just goes, "Yeah, hey, after all, there's no reason that it won't work this time, right?"
Yeah, I know. I fucking know. I just don't want anyone else getting hurt.
And you hear one more voice from the chair next to Seiko. As the chair turns, "If you want, I'm still willing to try to help with my ability. You know that there are still unknowns out there, and we've witnessed so many just throughout this progress. If you want Hirito to take something from me, it's possible it could be the last bit we're missing." And then Bliss will turn and just point a finger
No. Last resort.
And at that moment, everything just kind of seems to freeze in place.
That's the end of the recording.
Strange. Was it the weather probe that was recording all of this?
Could also be Oblivious.
But wouldn't it be from Oblivious's point of view?
I mean, Oblivious is an AI.
It could be.
Yeah, depends how many cameras are here. I could easily make
But,
3D generations.
but the eye isn't where Oblivious is. It's over there in the entryway. Corporal,
Yeah.
when you saw the weather probe back in the lab, did you notice any sort of markings on it?
Really, it was kind of hard to distinguish. I knew it was there and but wasn't. It was kind of the illusion bullshit. So I didn't really get too good a look at it. It looked like a distorted version of the probe because light refractions bullshit. Like I was looking at it in the fifth or whatever.
I see.
So distinct markings, little hard to tell. What was
Any
just
Roman
stretching.
numerals, red spiral, anything like that?
Nah, just lying on its side on the thing.
I see.
If it had a Roman numeral on the part it was leaning on, there's no chance I was seeing it. Anyway, you want me to go intimidate the eye, get moving on?
I think you've had enough interaction with
Yes,
blinking eyes
maybe
today.
we don't burn it this time. Num puts their fingers together.
Besides, there is more that we can ascertain from this scene than what we've just heard from this conversation.
Well, yeah, I think I got the gist of it.
Where's your investigative spirit? Let's see if we can snoop around, find
I'm
any
a soldier,
notes
not a
that were left out.
scientist.
Just gonna go over here to this table,
Yeah, of course.
and all the documents spread out across it.
Looking up, you will see specifically there are a bunch of schematics laid out here for a machine. The inner workings of a large contraption. Page after page after page.
This is incredible.
What'd you find?
Come take a look at this. There's something that they were building out here. This certainly doesn't look like the shuttle loop.
Can I look them over?
Yeah, it seems to be... There are human bodies displayed on these documents. As if whatever the machine was intended to encase a person.
In case how?
Like a diver suit, let's say. Or a full body nylon package. Just the idea to encase someone.
Right.
It's the suits that Enselar was talking
I
about.
totally forgot about the suits until now. Holy shit.
Yeah!
Is this the blueprint for the suits?
It might suggest that a titanium alloy should be used at the top of the document. I think you could make the connection pretty easily.
These are the suits that Bliss was obsessed about.
The metal
Oh.
suits.
Oh, Alistar, grab those documents.
I'm
This-
not quite sure if they're going to be able to bring them with us outside of here, but maybe once we're back in the actual lab, we'll be able to find them.
Does anyone have a phone? Does anyone have a phone?
I can try to commit them to memory, though I'm not sure how
Oh
good
my
that would
god. Elisar, use your scouter. We have picture function.
Right, that's a thing.
Forgot about that.
So, you pop up your scatter, and, it seems to be glitching. Like, the interface just is very fragmented at the moment. If you're gonna try and navigate your scouter in here, you're going to have to roll me a brains roll.
be. Okay. I'll try. Even if it's not the best, it'll be more than if we are not able to find the actual documents.
Okay. You navigate to what you believe to be the camera functionality, and you attempt to take a picture. All that's left is to hope that it worked.
Perhaps Millie will have some way to, if it got messed up, maybe uncorrupt it. But I really think that we should spend some time to look these over and learn everything that we can while we're here. From what I can tell, this may be the best chance to do so.
Let's see.
You set the documents down and you start to look over them. These are in incredibly high detail. It's at the point at which you could almost continue the experimentations from where they left off right here and now. What you have here is a mobile hazard suit, the likes of which are intended to allow one to climb mountains, to go down glaciers, to dive underwater, to explore every crevice and crack of the most hostile of environments, while being protected from frostbite, from heat, from cold, everything.
These suits, they would have allowed you to augment your capabilities and provide all sorts of protections without any need for invasive surgeries. This would be very, very valuable information if we are able to get it out of here.
Perhaps if we get these made, we can tie them into the network between the structures so we could communicate through them as well.
I know that the good doctors work with metal. If at all possible, we could try to... This sounds silly, but with all of the information provided here in these documents, we could get these produced.
To build the suits?
It would take a lot of dedication and a lot of resources. But with the good doctor's skills in metalcraft, they could be made, they could be manufactured. We could have finally a level of protection against the frostbitten, against all of this.
That would be a game changer.
We'd be safer traversing the Antarctic wastes. We could go places that, like, maybe even if there's things that are hidden, like below the lake, below the water. So many possibilities open up with the usage of these suits.
The whole world could become an oyster.
Well, we'd still mostly be trapped here on Antarctica. I don't think we'd exactly be able to walk through the ocean back to the mainland.
But what if we could?
But what if we could? That would be amazing.
I'm not saying that we should, but at least this could give us a step in the right direction, a way to gather materials to maybe not make it back to mainland, but make it to another base. Somewhere where we could get on a boat and leave.
Corporal, do you have any druthers on an idea like that?
Not particularly.
Lucifer,
Yes.
my memory's not been the best as of late. Help me memorize some of this. If we aren't able to actually find the real things, we would at least be able to learn some things from this.
Here, let me help you.
Can't wait to find out that you just wrote, like, random gibberish in your notebook.
Did he ever mention why this project was discontinued?
No, he just talked to Bliss about being obsessed about this suit idea.
I thought Bliss actually managed to remember something about that, and it was like lack of material or something.
It could tie into what we've just learned about the budget cuts, or the lack of budget, as it were.
Given that he's still on the track that this is Oblivious really trying to show us everything that's going on, he's going to look over at the Oblivious monitor. Oblivious did mention in the conversation about her taking over the project. That would mean that she would have files or something already in her database. Would she have any of those as, like, pop-ups?
Give me a brains roll.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What you see on the computer is a window essentially set up. On the top left, it would say Oblivious AI with a string of numbers designating the version number. You've heard of this before. It was mentioned that Oblivious started out as nothing more than a chat window, and that seems to be the case here. It's a dialogue box with a 3D rendered person in the background. This isn't a, like, physical manifestation of her. This is literally just a window into, like, a video game. It's very rudimentary. On top of that, it would have the names of the recipients of the call present here.
Ooh.
And first and foremost, the identity of the one who is receiving the call. There's another member in this call who doesn't have a camera on.
Oh. Oh, that's fun.
Jared, I'm just gonna message you what the name is. You can do with this as you will.
Okay. Huh?
Do with that as you will.
Okay. All three of you see Lucy just freeze, staring at a name. And Lucy has been gripping his spin ball tightly, being uneasy of what may or may not happen because we're still technically in enemy territory. He just lets go of the ball and it clatters to the ground. Hi. He goes up and he grabs the monitor and is just looking at the name.
Lucifer, careful what you touch.
It's impossible. You are in America. Elsa.
Luce, are you
Do you
okay?
collect call? We don't know where all these connections are going.
Elisar, that person. He turns the monitor. That name, Iris Una. It's my sister. Why is my sister in this flashback? Huh?
That shouldn't be possible.
Iris is not a scientist. She's essentially house-ridden. She can barely go outside by herself.
I was just about to ask. You mentioned that she rarely gets the chance to go out at all.
Yes, she has a condition with her stand. She can get around, but not easily. She's never been to United. She's been essentially
and yet she
body.
Is part of this meeting here.
Yes.
With somebody from United, assumingly. Everyone, staff of Isotiller, here in the Ice Core Research Labs.
I
mean, you heard what the corporate stiff said.
Lucifer.
He's gripping his necklace.
Honest question. Both you and I have received an in to United through the same man. How did you come to know Acer?
Lucy's gonna step away from the monitor. He's the one who took me and my sister essentially out of the rubble of the city. We were survivors of the apocalypse, and it was just me and her. Both of our parents were taken by the apocalypse. And he's the one who essentially, he took other kids off the streets and essentially made condominiums or apartments, or however you want to look at it, just to house us and make sure that we had food until we could find anything to grasp onto. He's the one who invited me to study with United.
And when you were invited to work alongside United, was this a public arrangement, or were you told to keep it under wraps?
All of the supernatural studies were under wraps. It was all...
To sign an NDA of sorts?
I didn't even need to sign an NDA. I was just happy to be a part of the United family, to research my sister. The reason I'm here is to research for my sister.
Why then?
And why is her name here?
Maybe she got a similar offer.
That
just
doesn't
more
make
remote.
sense.
But in secret?
We live together. We live together literally every day of our lives. I'm essentially taking care of her. All three of us have been.
And there is no way, no fathomable way that she could have been in contact with anyone through cell, through computer usage, any of that.
She could have used a computer, I suppose.
Yes, but she just has...
But why would she not tell us?
Why, indeed.
We've told each other everything. Lucy's gonna grasp his hand. He's gonna pull it out, and a small little butterfly emerges.
Elisar is just going to kind of like, wherever Lucifer is, just hand up on shoulder or like on arm. I'm sure, I am positive, even though that I do not know exactly the full circumstances of what is going on here. I am sure that your sister is very lucky, and she knows that she is very fortunate to have you as a brother. But it would seem to me that she did not want you working all alone on this.
If she... then why...
I know what it's like to feel like everyone around you is looking out for you and looking out for specifically you. It's uncomfortable in a way that's hard to describe. You want control over your own life. So, if that means helping out even in secret, and still provide some stability during times of uncertainty. Please, do not try to freak out. Try not to freak out. Try not to panic.
My sister gave me this butterfly before I left. Our house is riddled with them. This is her stand. She calls it Crazy Town. I'm not sure why she would just... This was supposed to be our connection. She can feel my emotions and my will through this stand. Why would she just not tell me anything?
I got a theory. Pretty dark, though.
Maybe you should save it. Consider what he is learning right now, Corporal. You do not need to be adding to any of the stress.
How was my sister connected to any of this?
I'm just gonna wrap her arms around Lucy at this point, just very gently.
A question that we should save for those who are able to provide us a more concrete answer. Look around you. Look at everyone here present during this meeting. They, of course, knew that your sister was involved in this conference. We can go back to the good doctors. We can ask Bliss. We can ask Camilla.
Tali, we saw that there was a version of Oblivious put out there, like the string of numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those usually have some kind of indicator of a time frame.
Yes.
Is there a way that Lucy could see how long it has been since this conversation that his sister's been a part of?
Of course. The year is 2147.
So 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Oh, geez.
Yep.
So this is actually...
This is relatively early into
recent.
development.
This is like right around the big accident
It's very close.
from, yeah.
I was still studying with United at that time. She was 23. She was knitting plushies at that time.
Obviously not.
Has she been working here with that little laptop she has in her room?
This was before you were... Okay, I'm sorry. Clarify for me.
Yes.
Was this around the same time that you accepted Acer's hand into researching help for your sister?
Oh, this is long ago. I've been learning with United and all that stuff since I was 16.
Okay.
That's 12 years ago. I mean, Odd did talk with Iris a few times, but he was sort of like an out of touch father figure for us. He just looked up to his generosity and wanted to make him proud.
I never asked. I know that you study in supernatural sciences. Did your sister study in anything of the sort?
No, she's been a homebody. She's just been going from hobby to hobby, sometimes making some extra money, doing some odd side jobs. She knows a little bit of computer stuff, but not much. She just has a little dinky laptop. that I bought for her forever ago.
Nothing on the same level as these suits, these bioengineered machines.
Wait a minute.
Not necessarily. Everyone in this room, yes, they are all specialists. But none of them have what your sister has, which is her specific stand.
This is true. Her stand is not even that complex. Crazy Town's ability is that it can just be crushed and molded into shapes. It's relatively indestructible, but he grabs the butterfly and squeezes it, and it just forms into one of the spin balls that he uses. That's all it does. And he squeezes it and it reforms into the butterfly and it starts fluttering around. There's nothing more, nothing less to it. At least as far as I know. It's just moldable crystal.
So like an orb or a camera lens.
Alistar looks sort of disturbed for a second, but shakes it off. Or something bothered him that you said.
Why would she keep a secret from me?
As she had to. Why else?
She obviously knew I'd try and meddle.
You do strike me as the overprotective brother.
I have to be.
Gum's gonna glare at Larry. Stop acting like you know what it's like.
I need to talk to Tiller or Millie or any of them because I've noticed something that they've done in this area. Several places are named after people who have worked here. I've always found it really uncanny that there is a Lake Una.
Yeah, you finally noticed that?
Oh, I saw it immediately. Don't worry, I didn't think it was my fucking sister.
Is the lake itself not called Lake Una?
Yes, it is.
I'd say let's look up when it was named, but there's no fucking signal down here.
Why would they? I understand naming any given research station after the researchers who are working there, but why a lake? Why is a lake named after your sister? Okay.
I don't know, she likes water.
Lucifer, you were brought onto this project, this mission that you were given. The initial call from the Supernatural Help Hotline.
Specifically, it was Odd Acer who asked me to come down here. I was told that there was some brand new thing happening down here with inklings of what the Frostbitten might be, or the research down here, or literally anything. I was promised so much of research. Elazar, do you know why I'm a supernatural scientist? Would you like to take a guess?
No, Lucifer, I would like you to tell me.
I'm trying to fix my sister's condition. Her body is riddled with these crystals that scour into her skin. She walks around in crutches. I'm here to try and see if there was anything I could grab onto. That's why I was so keen with talking with the doctor the first time. Literally the only thing going through my head was my sister might have a chance. I have to be the one to help her. I have to be the one. And I made the promise to make it home, but the only reason I am sticking my neck out here this far is for her. Nothing else. I am trying to resolve the unforgivable sin that has happened to her. I just want her to be healthy. And here I am, standing in a freezing laboratory, seeing
Lucifer.
my sister's name on a conference call
Lucifer,
3 years ago.
there are many things going through my mind right now. But out of all of them, I am sure Acer would not have sent you here if he didn't think that there was a way, an outcome of this scenario that would help you help your sister.
So why didn't they tell me anything?
Knowing what drove you, knowing your motivations, Acer would not have sent you here on some dangerous continent to get trapped.
And why am I blind to all this? I need to go talk to Bliss or Millie or somebody. Maybe there's some record or something regarding Lake Una. Maybe I'll even invade the doctor's house again and go, hey, I'm stealing the documents here. What's he gonna do, stop me? I'm done here. You all finish up what you need to do here. I'm gonna go think.
Fair enough.
Lucy's gonna look at his eye on the way out. On this eye on the way out.
Lucifer, you forgot the butterfly.
He looks back at it as it flutters towards him. And it lands on his chest. Little jagged polygon lines extend from the body into the legs, and it walks its way up to its resting place on the crystal. And it reforms. And he's going to continue walking out.
Eventually, you will find yourself, Lucifer, walking into an area where even light itself doesn't function how you would think it should. As you go, your body is visible to you, yes, your hands, everything visible. But the world around you is dark. No forms, nothing, just an echoey black abyss in all directions.
He's gonna walk until light from the room has kind of faded a little bit into the darkness.
Yeah.
And he's gonna sit down. And he's gonna think.
I really do hope my hunch was right.
Which one?
One that Acer didn't screw us over. Most importantly, didn't screw him over.
There you go, I'm just gonna get this out of the way. Are you lost in thought too, Seiko? I just remembered... Chancellor still got Muffin, right?
Yeah, should.
Can you still sense that he's...
I believe I saw Muffin
around?
back in the... I believe I saw Muffin back in the first city where we first
No,
arrived.
I took Muffin from Psycho. Muffin's over there. Or is it... What's the fourth one?
Slug.
Slug is right here.
Slug's on S. Slug's there.
Marble,
That's Muffin.
Muffin.
Marbles.
Marbles. Hansler's probably blocked himself in a corner then.
Do I have a sense of where it is?
No.
Well, good news is I can feel my fourth golden gold. Bad news is I can't tell where.
Well, let's not worry too much about it. We are being shown a world, a history of answers to all sorts of questions and loose ends.
And getting given like half a dozen more. What do you want?
Well, let's not let this opportunity go to waste. Let's continue.
Yeah. Your siblings want to go catch up with Lucy? I know that he probably thinks she wants to be alone, but probably better to be with family.
Num looks to Encore.
Lucy gets in these spouts every once in a while where we've tried to help him out, and even we are shoved away. We'll go check on him in a few minutes.
Well, most importantly, I want to make sure that he's not getting lost out there.
He doesn't get self-harmful. He just loses himself for a bit.
He just needs space.
Yes.
He's very emotional.
I can tell.
Seiko,
Are you able to?
He did all of that through the calming cat effect.
Are you
Yeah,
able to
I was about to mention
ascertain
that.
anything from feeling his emotions? Are you able to ascertain what exactly about this revelation bothered him so much? Did he feel shocked, betrayed?
I think it was literally just the shock. It was. Okay, you're gonna have to do me a. He looks numb and like should we tell him?
Why?
I'm worried about him, and I would like to know. If there's anything that I can do to help. Maybe once he comes back around to help
I
ease his worries.
suppose it wouldn't hurt.
Okay, I know he's definitely gonna be mad at me if any of you say anything, so you all shut the fuck up.
Then it was my fault. Put it on me.
Yeah, that's not believable.
No, it was my fault for being so damn concerned about him and pushing the issue. Now tell me what's wrong.
I'm Seiko, Larry, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to talk with Elisar in the corner over here for a second.
Of course.
Which corner?
This one.
Okay.
So there's a very large motivation with Lucy. A lot of things happened during the apocalypse.
You don't say.
Yeah. Me and Num never got to meet Lucy's. We still consider them our parents. We essentially came to being immediately afterwards. I don't know how you've discovered visions, but the first thing I felt was I punched a hole in a guy was the first thing I did in my life. There was a vampire attack going on in New Mexico at the time.
Was that guy a vampire?
Yes. He was attacking Iris.
Do you feel like you did the right thing? Made the right call?
I don't remember. My first memory is me killing something.
So that's when it happened then? When you were awakened, so to speak.
It wasn't me. Lucy at the time was on a rampage of sorts. Small little long-haired 8-year-old boy. He was walking to where his sister was. He had already slain a few vampires on his way.
On his own?
Yes, on his own.
Through what means? Was he a spin user at 8 years old?
No.
What? I'm sorry, I don't follow. How is this possible?
I just remember there being viscera on the ground and all that. He carried around any weapon he could find.
I see.
And I believe I was the last weapon he grabbed. Num manifested to protect himself. I manifested to protect Iris.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't me killing somebody in front of her. It was Lucy. Lucy round the corner and...
Elisar's just gonna kind of glance around the corner to where Lucifer is.
It
Where he's
was
walked off, yeah.
some aura with him. Some protective bloodlust or something like that. He gets that sometimes. You may not have noticed it, but
Yes.
he got it with Millie when Madder Than Hell attacked.
Most often, it's referred to as adrenaline. but
It was
what you're
adrenaline.
describing seems like something different. To put it simply.
He's a nice guy. He
But-
tries his best to be friendly, but
This is why you recommend giving him his space then. Okay. I believe I understand.
he's very aggressive towards. Well, justice isn't even the word for it. It's not justice. He's very protective against monsters because of what happened with Iris. Because he's the reason her stand manifest. She took a look at him and was scared of him. And that's when Crazy Town formed. She lost her mobility and basic healthy lifestyle because of him. That's why he's so keen. That's why he's so shocked. His entire life from then on, after he saw her crying, was dedicated to righting his own unforgivable sin. He's the one who sinned.
I see what you're saying then. That this revelation
He's
is
betrayed.
partially betrayed, but it's partially rooted in guilt.
He's here for Odd, the one who helped all of us get back on our feet, who gave us a chance at something.
And it seems like yet again, her sister is involved in this whole mess because of him.
Yes. This is more of a shock to him than it is me and Numb. We've always been the ones comforting him.
I do not believe that it is his fault that his sister was somehow involved with Isotiller before him. I just don't believe it. Even if nothing happened with the emergence of her stand, Acer would have still found the two of them, correct? You said that he said that Acer was specifically looking for children who lost their parents during the vampire apocalypse to train them,
Well, not
become
exactly.
scientists and researchers. Not exactly. What am I missing here?
It was specifically Lucy's interest in trying to help his sister that Acer saw him and gave him the opportunity. It wasn't all the orphans. He was selected.
Lucifer certainly wasn't the one who asked his sister to take part in this whole research operation, was it?
True.
I presume that was Acer. Or maybe even someone else at United who was working without the knowledge of Acer. Came in contact with his sister.
I think he just feels not even left out. He feels like he was actively sheltered from this information when he should have been the one to know.
There had to be a good reason, you realize.
Yes, I understand.
Good.
Whatever that reason is, however, I doubt he's gonna stop his march until he realizes what it is.
And I doubt that he may not. I don't doubt that he may not take kindly to that revelation either, so. I'll continue looking around. Maybe see if I can find some clues in this room. Or if we are going to be taking through any more visions, through those as well. There
Very
must be
good.
something else that I can ascertain from this. Something.
Encore's gonna move and is gonna sit down over here on the wall.
Something to be found around here. Anything. I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna check on what Camilla's doing, actually.
Okay. She is at a larger sort of analysis type mainframe, and she seems to be analyzing. Can you give me a brains roll?
Sure can.
She has a map up, a map screen, and it seems like she's analyzing weather patterns.
Okay. Well, I think we've done everything that we can here. Let's try to find a way to move on to the next scene without setting anything on fire this time.
Yes, I
Quite possible we all just have to walk into the darkness.
suppose we could try.
No, we could have moved on last time, just walking down the road.
Yes, we could give it a shot.
Num is going to come over to Encore. It's down. Are you okay?
Yeah. It's, Oh, I'm feeling a lot of conflicting emotions from Lucy right now.
She kneels down.
I'm really happy Marbles is here.
Arms crossed.
I think he would have gone off without it.
What are we going to do?
Well, you know I'm not one for making plans. But I think it's a good idea that we continue exactly what we've been doing for the past 20 years. And that is walking with him.
Num gives off the energy of a smile. Alright.
Let's just make sure he gets home.
Agreed.
Elisar is going to continue gathering up all of the notes and documents that he laid out on the floor, as well as Lucifer's notebook.
Mm-hmm.
Without even looking up, he's going to ask Seiko, "Did you notice anything strange?"
About?
The people present in this room.
Other that they're here in the first place? Not really.
Just wondering.
I was just more. I'm sorry. I was more focused on the documents, if anything. What were you getting at?
I wanted to see if you could help me pinpoint exactly who is present here.
I'm gonna look over the shapes. Anyone that I recognize?
This figure here? Yeah, this man... You've seen his picture before, you think? You saw his picture back at the Marine Lab. Remember when you were going through all those documents up there?
Yeah.
You stumbled upon one. It was detailing, the previous man who had been in control of that group of penguins up there. Who had been...
Oh, right, yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah. The Echelon Hexaflake. That looks like him.
Actually, Alisar, don't you mention it. This one here. I know who that is, that's Echelon. It's Hexaflake.
So, if you can recognize that that's Echelon, that's Bliss, I think that's Bolt, that's, of course, Dr. Tiller. Person on the computer is assumingly somebody from United. Elisar's going to point to the last silhouette with question marks in the room.
Here, I'll, even give you a little zoom on this person.
Why does she look vaguely familiar to me?
You might have seen him before.
Do you know who that is? Because if there is one thing that I desperately do not need right now, it is yet another person who is completely uncounted for in everything that we have learned.
Love Elisar.
Should I roll for it, Tali?
Yeah. What's your streamer trait, actually?
Oh,
You're fucking
No,
kidding
I have a
me.
reason
Oh
for
my
this. I have a
God.
reason for this. You seem like the type that would like to read romance.
oh, you're fucking joking.
Yeah, the way he has a hand on Bliss's shoulder, the way he's kind of standing, that... Just some random dude wouldn't stand like that.
Yeah,
I
that's
had
what
a
was
guess.
kind of figured.
I had a guess, but I didn't want to say anything.
And that's why I added the streamer bonus, because it was like, oh, Seiko would immediately see the hand.
Back the hubby.
It's probably Bliss's husband.
I can't recall the name, but I think that might be Bliss's husband. Cause look how they're positioned.
He was here too?
Yeah,
And I guess that begs the question. Where is he now?
don't know.
Let's keep going, shall we?
Eventually, in the darkness, you do come across what looks to you like how Lucy would be sitting, highlighted by a spotlight, but of course the floor beneath him is pure black.
Are we done in there?
I hope we found all of the clues that we possibly could. We were able to identify the other two silhouettes in the room. We discovered that the one in the chair is Echelon Hexaflake, while the man standing next to Bliss was Kirito.
Kirito?
It turns out that he was involved in all of this as well.
Well,
In person.
Lucy stands up from the wall. I recall Hirito's being mentioned on some documents over in Isotilla about the construction of Millie, maybe? I'm trying to remember.
That sounds
They built her
correct.
together.
Bliss's husband, one of the three people with Bolt and Bliss.
He was a computer scientist, no?
Yeah,
Or at least one familiar with robotics.
I recall Bliss.
It was part of the motivation of building her. They wanted to have a daughter.
Bliss has spoken with me about Hirito before. I'm under the impression that Hirito is nowhere near Antarctica at the moment. Bliss wants to go home to him, wherever that is.
And yet here he is, standing alive and present at the Ice Core Labs right around the time of the initial accident.
This was 3 years ago. Maybe he actually was able to get off. If not... Oh, Bliss. Bliss still
Who
believes he's
is
alive.
the devil of the South, Lucifer? And why were the good doctors hesitant to tell us?
Be anyone in that room or everyone in that room, honestly.
We've already got inclination from Oblivious that she's being puppeted by someone. Whoever would be puppeting Oblivious may just as well be the actual devil itself.
Someone that she said was driven by an uncontrollable desire to achieve the perfect design.
Also bastardizing her creations. She made friends, they turned them into weapons.
Right.
Most of these figures are accounted for. We know where they are. Bliss is considered father to Millie, and by extension, Oblivious as well. There's one figure that's unaccounted for that is intimately close with their creator, who would know how they work. I think Hirito. Hirito is the most likely option to be the devil.
I highly doubt that.
I still think it's
doubt that.
Bliss having a three-way civil war over his own mind.
If not Bliss, then it would be Hirito who would have the knowledge to know how the AIs work in the first place, enough to control them to such a degree.
I believe it's the Bliss that's been manufacturing these mad as hell. The actual anger of Bliss that has been taken. That is the devil in my eyes.
And Lucifer, do you believe that that rage, completely isolated on its own, would be able to build up Oblivious into what she is now?
We know Oblivious was already well into development before Millie was even created. I do not think so. I think it was well into production at that point.
I see.
I feel like it's not the gun's fault for who fires it. Oblivious is just making friends, or so she says. Whatever's molded outside of her control is what is creating those monstrosities. My theory, the devil of the South doesn't want to free the frostbitten. Otherwise, what other reason would they be against the good doctor? This could be just an easy as much seize of power, but there's easily something behind those layers. It could even be another atrocity like what happened with the apocalypse. Somebody somewhere thinking that they know better and making it everybody else's problem.
There's a very large-scale project happening right now, not too far away from these labs. After we escape, we need to go to that quarry and see what they are doing down there.
Let's just get through this and worry about what we're doing afterwards.
Harper is right. We have no idea how much time we're spending in here.
We're probably gonna have more questions by the time we're done with this anyway.
Alright.
At least with like the contact base.
Elisar's is going to look back at the red eye. So do we just continue walking out this way? Can you blink yes, blink once for yes, blink twice for no? Yes to the no.
The eyeball starts
No.
spinning.
Alisar, you're confusing the eyeball.
Okay. Never change.
Seiko, you would realize that the eyeball is on the knob of... Hey, wait a minute. Why is there a radio embedded in this wall? It looked like a piece of machinery, but since you're standing there looking at it, presumably,
Oh yeah.
it's on the knob of a radio.
You gotta take a look at the radio.
Yeah, it's a radio. What do you mean, take a look at it?
Turn it on.
Okay. You click it on, you start to hear the speech.
I'm gonna turn the dial. See if it tunes anything else.
Oh. You're gonna change the channels. Alright. Everything gets fuzzy all around you. And you are no longer in the same spot. You are in a room somewhere. With a man back to you. Man that you recognize from earlier as one of the silhouettes that was in the laboratory. And you will just hear the crumpling sound of paper being rolled up, tossed to the side. Occasionally, just in a moment of what looks like a very aggressive motion, grabs a glass, takes a drag, places it back down, keeps writing. That is what you see.
He looks drunk.
What room are we in?
Okay, someone's been sitting here for a long time.
I think the first thing Alisar is going to do is he's going to go over at the paper that was tossed over here. So I'll pick it up and uncrumple it.
I'm gonna walk over to the paper with the eye on it.
Okay. I'll start with Alisar. The paper crumpled and tossed to the side. It's rough, but what you get is a drawing. Very sketchy pencil drawing, a bunch of notes all around it, of what looks like some sort of machine. And notably, in the top right corner is a just little sketch of a butterfly.
Does the machine look like anything that was down in the basement of Isotiller? Those containment pods that we saw people in?
I would say yeah.
Here we return yet again to Isotiller.
Butterflies were created there.
And
Maybe this was the research that you were supposed to continue.
Seiko, what you see is a document. The eye is flicking open at the top, right underneath the name Echelon Hexaflake. Seems to be more notes on composition of ice cores, data taken from samples from within said cores, bacterial counts. It's pretty standard stuff.
I like to pick the document up and look under it.
Okay. As you pick it up, the eyeball comes with it.
What are you trying to tell me here?
As you pick it up, there is a just kind of spark as the illusion shifts in front of you. And one of the papers, now very clear, is a pencil sketch. A tall figure, bright red sort of highlights on it, which is weird because it's like a pencil sketch. Basically 4 hands spreading out around an open mouth.
Oh.
We know who that is. Been a while.
Mhm.
Hey, big guy.
Freaking been a while.
Been a
Jeez.
while. Literally episode 3.
Mhm.
Y'all might want to see this.
What'd you find?
A drawing as well. Drawing. It looks like the lucky one.
There would be a segment where it's It's going over the silhouette of the boat. It's a sketch of the silhouette, and it says, a bunch of data about it, possible construction materials, location. And there is one phrase underlined at one point that's just Titanic ? And that's crossed out in a very way of that's too fucking absurd.
Well,
this predates fucking 25.
This seems to be after the war started.
seems like we weren't the first ones to discover the Titanic. That's for sure.
Where the hell are we? Larry's looking out the window, but it's just darkness, I assume.
It also seems like the construction of, some of the machinery in the basement was also post-start of the war.
I'd like to look over at Shalom's face. I'd like to get some insight on him. What's his demeanor? What does he look like? Like, what's the emotion on his face?
Haunted.
Whatever's going on here. Got him spooked. Haunted. Judging from all the bottles, looks like he was trying to find some way to cope.
So this is post-accident, post-beginning of the war.
Yeah, so it seems. Looks like they found the Titanic being here just as absurd as we did.
I wasn't thinking about that. I was wondering if he's still human or not.
Are you implying that he's a frostbite?
Or unbitten.
Looking him over, any indication of that, or is it too muddled?
Unfortunately,
to tell?
the nature of this illusion makes it very hard to see anything other than the silhouette of this man. So if there was something, you're looking at shadow.
We are aware of his departure before leaving, and given the Millie wasn't gung-ho on Echelon being unbitten when mentioned around her.
That is a
I'd say that this man is still flesh.
question I wanted to bring up. It's been bothering me for a little while. Echelon died mere days before we got here, yes?
Correct?
At least he disappeared entirely.
According to the intel that I was given.
So,
He walked off.
why did Millie not revive him?
Possible Millie has a range.
Hasn't that already been debunked?
You know that Millie is way further than we expect. My theory, he's not dead.
I was about to get to that as well.
Or, worst comes to worse, he may have been the basis for the lucky one. It's fun being
It's
haunted
also a
by
possibility.
creatures.
I shudder to think that we've already met him at the Titanic, although I don't think that's
I
likely.
think it's more accurate to say that he's why the Lucky One's spores is back at Iso Tiller.
Yes.
He went to investigate the Titanic, saw the Lucky One, and returned.
Remember the very first night. Murphy exhibited behavior similar to what had been described to me that Echelon was also going through.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
A sudden disappearance in the middle of the night.
Manic,
No warning, nothing.
frantic actions brought about by some sort of revelation granted by the Lucky One.
Oh. Perhaps it's the same visions that Murphy
Visions.
acquired
You're right.
of the screaming man on the floor, the screaming body on the floor.
The cries for help. All of that. Showing Iso Tiller's destruction.
The reality of what was actually beneath it this whole time.
The promise of safety.
Murphy wasn't the first.
And there was quite a big pile of red goop in the middle of the second floor.
Yeah.
Is Echelon stocked still, or is he still working on stuff?
He's still writing.
May I glean what he is writing?
It honestly looks like pure fucking gibberish.
Lucy's gonna look at that.
Looks like his mind was starting to
It's
go.
like, but is it similar to the drawings that Millie was making of the Good Doctor? That kind of like scratchy, almost repetitive motion.
Yes. Yes, it is.
I see. Which means whatever had Millie doing that is also haunting Echelon.
Was it not the good doctor?
You don't know that.
Presumably.
Hey, Tali, quick question.
Yeah,
Larry already looked outside. Lucy's gonna look outside.
sure. You see darkness. Anything you're looking for in particular?
Looking for a haunting figure looking at Echelon in the distance.
Oh,
If this illusion generation thing that's going on with us that's melding our minds is trying to show us Echelon, if this is Oblivious and Echelon has given indication of what's been haunting him, I'm hoping that Oblivious is recreating a scene or something from Echelon.
So I'm gonna need you to make a brains roll. Well, Echelon gets harder to see. And as you look in the distance, I don't have a token that properly displays this. But it would look exactly like how Echelon does in this case.
Ooh, interesting.
This guy.
Now, what the fuck are you doing haunting him, Miss Tiller? What are you trying to make him understand?
Or is he just trying to get the band back together?
Tali!
Hello.
I'm gonna recreate Night 2 real quick. Lucy's gonna roll up his sleeve and take out a writing implement.
Interesting.
If you have me in here, that means I'm not privy to my own actions in full. What would you like to tell me, Echelon? Good Doctor? Oblivious? Devil?
Interesting. Can you roll me bravery, please?
Give me them sixes, baby!
yo!
You are going to feel a sharp sensation like a needle was just jabbed into your eardrum. You're going to take 4 damage. And you are going to see, in your mind's eye, a hand pulling out from a sea of people silhouetted in red, clawing, clutching at anything to pull itself out. Screams echo all around in this writhing pit of humanity. And in but an instant, you are back, breathing heavily.
You okay?
I see. Do you hear them, Echelon? Do you hear the screaming? The begging? Echelon is haunted by the same thing that's haunting the rest of the Frostbitten. The noises from the flesh pit below Isatilla, the screams that the bolt can hear. He's not haunted by a manifestation. He's haunted by the wannabe deads. Makes sense why he's so fascinated by the Lucky One if our theories are correct.
Might be one of the one things that can actually dissolve everything to death. It basically is rot.
I don't think so, Larry. They wish they could rot, decay, evaporate back into the earth, silenced. They're undead, or better yet saying, they're still alive, in one form or another. Echelon's haunted. I think he can hear them. And I think they want him to hear.
So that must be why he chose to leave.
That is indeed what I think happened. I believe that his incessant binging I see behind me, he's trying to drown them out with booze and beer. He's trying to keep his mind swimming so that nothing can pierce through the veil. He's going mad. So, question being, has he told anybody else? Or is he suffering in silence because the voices tell him to do so?
I know this sounds rude and probably isn't true, but we sure he escaped?
Escaped from Isotiller? Yes. Antarctica? More than likely, no. I think he's somewhere. Somewhere something was dragging him to. He's gonna look outside to the being.
And the good doctor would know.
Maybe this is why he was so keen on sending us here.
This paints a picture of the good doctor that I feel like all of us should be aware of. That when he points someone in a direction, it's not necessarily for their own good.
The doctor never took me as anything but selfish.
So he
His
sent us
objectives
here.
always took priority over everything to him.
Although I am still haunted by something he said. He says I changed his mind, some way or another. I never got an answer to what.
When was this? When did he tell you that?
In the 25th hour. Apparently
Yes.
I changed some mind of his. Whether it was my comforting of the Millennium AI, he was present.
Something
Or some
about
other-
his course of action.
Hopefully the good doctor's changed for the better.
The good doctors are still learning, like any of us.
They alluded to, under no circumstance, wishing harm upon Millennium. That does not mean they did not wish to change her irreparably. The definition of harm could easily be manipulated.
I think the good doctor is betting on something with Millie. We know that the good doctor had no intention with the virus, essentially probably, more than likely, almost certainly connected to what was inside 2525. That wasn't him, neither are the mad as hells.
No.
Tis this madness. This all-consuming desire for information that is unattainable.
I can empathize.
So what do we do with this knowledge then?
I think this is a node on a long chain of pieces of information we're allowed to pick up.
Oblivious appears to be pushing herself quite hard to give us this information. I think we should take it and relay it back to everyone. Do what he could not. Warn them of what's coming.
When we are out of here, and properly out of here, done with this mission, we go back to Isotiller and we share everything.
Definitely gonna be looking for some answers there. I know the large hole in the south is pretty enticing right now, but I would like to sleep in a bed and have a quick chat with a few select people.
Shall we see what she has left to tell us?
Sounds good to me.
Probably for the best.
What are we looking for? Radio?
What's on the radio?
Alright. You hear that familiar speech yet again?
Lucy's gonna turn to the fading echelon. Well then, Oblivious. If Echelon has found air that's unfit to breathe, show us where he found it. And I'm gonna tune it to another station.
Alright, and as static sort of fills the room, we're gonna take a pause.
I know that you're dying. 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 I know that know I'm unwell. And together we sashay through variations of hell. And as you walk through valleys of fear, the lure of my head is ever near. Oh, don't be afraid, though the parade will not pass our way. It's nobler to never get paid than to bank on shit and dismay.
Tali, I fucking love these creepy ass shadow arts of these. So.
And you had to go and join them.
What do you mean join them? What do you mean join them? I've been like this since night 6.
Yeah, he was the creepy shadow art.
He's the
first.
OG creepy shadow art.